What's up, YouTube? Capital G here with another batch of riveting duels. Today's theme is how to almost throw duels. We have a couple of very interesting decks, especially the one at the bottom. So this is actually, it's like Dart Magician Pendulums, or I guess you could say Dart Magician Magicians, because you got some Pendulum Magicians in here, and then obviously you have the original Dart Magician alongside some of the other support. Now, there are some things that tie these two themes together, such as the fact that, most of this stuff is spellcaster based, and you can use like the spellbook engine to just kind of go spellbook of knowledge and kind of draw cards for everything. But also, Selene is actually really good with Dart Magician. Now, Selene's not a card Dart Magician generally summon. They kind of need more monsters than what Dart Magician usually puts on the board, but that's where the Pendulum side kind of kicks in. So you see this opening, he's going to go for Pendulum Call, and he is going to get some more Pendulum monsters, specifically spellcasters, and we know Harmonizing. Anytime you resolve this card, by the way, the Pendulum Summon, chances are you're going to be able to go for at least a pretty good play. So he's going to go for Time Star Magician. I still love this card. I always thought it was really good. Going to get some more spellbooks from his deck. He got Power. Not sure if that's one that he wanted, but it's fine. He is going to activate Faithful Servant, and he's going to go for Spellbook of Knowledge. This means that he can actually go ahead and he can stack his deck, and he can pretty much, decide on what he wants to draw from that Spellbook of Knowledge, because the Faithful Servant is going to resolve. That's going to resolve second. So he will actually, it'll resolve first as Chain Link 2. So he is going to go for Selene, then that'll get some spell counters. Now, the thing is, you can use the Monster Reborn effect during your opponent's turn, and that's important because usually Dart Magician can mainly special summon Dart Magician from like Eternal Soul and Navigation during the opponent's turn, but this build can summon Dart Magician during the opponent's turn without relying on those cards, without relying on the traps, which means he might not even have to use them at all. He already has Circle. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the Train player or the Infinite Track Train, he has a really good go second opening. He has the Revolving Switchyard. More importantly, he has Urgent Schedule. He has a lot of extenders here, and he's got some good normal summons as well. So he kind of has everything that he needs to be able to summon some big old rank 10. So you're going to see right here Gustav Max. He was looking to do that easy 2000 burn damage, but Selene is going to summon Dart Magician during his turn. Very strong play when you combine it with Circle. Go ahead and banish the Gustav Max, and then he's going to tribute to get the Rod back to his hand. But he says, not a problem, Cap G. Just going to go ahead and normal summon. Then I'm going to get my Pegasus on board. Now I can easily go for another rank 10. This time he's not going to go for Gustav Max. He's going to go for Dora. I guess he just wants to go ahead and get that pop. Technically, I guess he probably could have. I think he was honestly just afraid of the back row. Like, he was afraid the super probably wasn't really a threat, but he didn't know that. I think he probably could have went for Gustav Max again and got the 2000 burn damage. He is going to summon Parallel Exceed, and that gives him basically what he needs for another rank 4. So, I don't know if he plays another rank 4, but he's going to go for IP Masquerena, then Red Eyes Dart Dragoon, and then he is going to get some burn damage. This is why, you know what, if he would have went for the second Gustav Max, this could have actually been an OTK, because just think about his opponent's already at 4,400. That could have been 2,400, and he still obviously has Lib at 6,000 attack that can attack. But actually, no, she's the only one that can attack. I'm trolling. He would have actually he still would have been totally fine. He would have been alive. Anyways, can we see Dart Magician make the comeback? He's going to negate the effect of Magician's Rod. Then he is going to he's going to go ahead and Link Summon for the Avermax. Fair enough. I wonder if his opponent can actually break this. This is, granted, he's already used the effect of the Red Eyes Dart Dragoon, but I always just find Astrum to be such a difficult card to kill, because if you're, for decks like Madoche that have like non-targeting removal, you play Kaijus, it's not that hard, but if you don't have that non-targeting removal, or you don't have some blanket effect that can negate all your opponent's, effect monsters, like, I don't know, Tiger King or something like that. It's a hard card to deal with. Now, he is going to go ahead and he's going to summon his own copy of Dragoon, and he's going to pop the copy of Ib, which almost does enough damage. Almost 4,000 burn damage. We got big burn damage in this game. He's going to give up his Dragoon for draws. And then I think he realized I don't actually have a way out of this. I'm gonna scoop it up, but I feel like maybe there could have been a possibility that he could have ran that back. I'm just not thinking of the answer. I mean, man, because the thing is, the Avramax, not only is it already inherently hard to kill, but then it has the protection of IP Masquerena. So these are just hard cards to kill. You can't target either one of them. Anyways, second duel is actually going to be my favorite deck to play right now, and that would be the Dragon Maids, Dragon Mommies as some people call them, and it's going to be dueling against Code Talkers or Cybers, either one basically. It's going to open with a pretty strong play. It is going to boil down into basically two very strong disruptive cards. Going for some Guard Dragon plays, going to pull that Parlor out of the deck so that he can get the Foolish effect for the changeover. This means that he will be able to fusion summon, and he's going to bring back Chamber. He is also, man, going for... I hate that this card is so bad. Is anyone else ever triggered by this card being so bad? I know you can see it in the generator combos, but like Fusion Trishula is just so trash. It's so much worse than the Synchro version. It's like not even comparable. Like, ooh, I get to banish a couple of cards from my opponent. Now, I will say this. He got to banish his Tempest, and that's cool, but I don't know if it actually warrants using it. He did actually get it off the field, though. He used it for Dragon Maid Shao, which I guess that kind of pays him back. Anyways, his ending board is Shao plus the Heavenly Spears, but he is getting more monsters because you pull out Nurse from the graveyard, Nurse activates her Monster Reborn, then you can drop Parlor into the, or you can drop Parlor on the field from the graveyard, and you can send one of your big dragon mates to the graveyard as well, or something else. Now, I think he could have shut this entire turn down. So his opponent is going to, I think this is Signet Conflict, or excuse me, Signet Kodak. He summons the Ladybug. I would have just negated this so quickly with Shao. I feel like it would have shut down the entire board, the entire play of the Dragon Mate, or the Code Talker player, because Shao, this is not a card you can stop with Called by the Grave. Shao tags itself back into the extra deck when it negates. It doesn't go to the graveyard or anything like that, so it's a really hard card to actually stop, even with something like well, I mean, just basically if you're using a card that needs for it to stay on the field, it's just a hard card to stop. Anyways, he's gonna let him get the search. I feel like he should have just negated that, because if that's your normal summon, chances are you need that effect to resolve. Called by the Grave is going to be used on Heavenly Spirits. He did negate that, but check this out. The Cybers player still has juice, mainly because of the Dot Scrapper. The Dot Scrapper reborns itself. Now he can start using some of these cards like Microcoder to link summon from the hand, and he's actually in a good position. Now, he still does have the House Dragon Maid on field, and when his monsters start tagging out to the hand, that will give him some pops, but not if you just destroy this card before the battle phase. So he's pretty much now online, and if you let them keep searching with Signet Kodak, they can basically just make a very strong board. And one card that I am just starting to realize is the card is just utterly ridiculous, man. I used to think that the Arrival Cybers at Ignister should have been the cover card of Eternity Code, but nah, Access Code Talker is just that dude. And if you guys have never had Access Code Talker dropped on you, this card is it's just, I didn't mean to do that. This card is just ridiculous, because usually when it hits the field, it's gonna gain somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 attack. So usually it can come out at like 5,000 attack. It starts nuking the board. You can't respond to any activations, and if you summon it with another like monster in the chain link, you can't even really use something like a Solemn Strike against its effects, because or the attack gain effect. You can't use something like a Solemn Strike. I guess you can use Solemn Strike on the summon of the monster, but it's a very hard card to actually stop when it gets on the field, because it's so big, it can pop so many cards, and it's a spell speed 4 where you can't respond. But he almost closes the duel out, leaving him with 500. I feel like we almost threw the game if we're a Dragon Maid player there. Now look, he should easily be able to get Shao on field. Might even just go for House just to get some of those pie. Yeah, I would maybe just go for House and then start tagging out my Dragon Maids, and that's exactly what I think he's going to do. He's going to tag out Chamber. That should pop Access Code Talker, and his opponent knows that is a GG no re, because he don't got any resources left except this code generator on I mean, he has that, but I don't really think that that's going to do anything. That's not going to stop him. Not to mention, the Dragon Maid player still had impermanence, and he would have almost certainly been able to get to Shao in main phase 2 if he wanted. I mean, he could have just activated changeover, bounced this one to his hand, then just activated the fusion card, and then started reborning some monsters, plus had double negations with impermanence plus Shao. It's pretty much a wrap at that point. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed that short duel. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.